Hi, and welcome to Why Not with Janice, and I'm Janice. Today, part of our show is helping others to help themselves, and part of our topics today is a teen chat. With this teen chat, our topic today, which I allow the students to choose the topics because it's all about them. They are our future. Our topic today is dating. I'm actually going to enjoy this one. Going to find out what the perspective and what kids think about dating now compared to how we used to date, and where they're going from there now, and what they actually think about dating. Are they dating? And is it a really big concern that parents should be worried about? Let me introduce you to my guests. I have a host of a teen chat group of 4 students here tonight. They're high school students in the south suburbs and Indiana. Welcome. Thank you very much to my guests. I'd like to introduce my guests here. We have Isabel. Say hi. Hi. Rianna.
Hi.
Edward.
Hi.
And Nathan.
Hi.
Okay. Well, let's first start this off. Who would like to start? The topic today is dating. First, let me see. Hands. How many of you guys are actually dating or been dating? Already. And I know the oldest is 17, right? So you guys have already been dating. Isabel, let me hear a little bit about you and dating, or do you want me to pass to someone else? Because we got a special with you. Isabel, tell me about who you're dating, or why did you start dating?
Well, I'm dating someone who is 17 named Abood. We started dating because we were friends at a role-playing rink, and we both decided we liked each other, and we started talking, and we decided to date. And we've been dating for almost 2 years now, and we're a little more on the serious side.
A little more on the serious side. At 17, you're serious, on the serious side. Okay. How about you, Nathan? Nathan.
Oh, me?
You raised your hand. You're dating too, huh?
Yeah. So pretty much right now, I'm dating my best friend, not giving out any names. It's kind of a secret though. We don't want our friends to know.
And how old are you?
I'm 15.
You're 15. And how long have you been dating, or have you dated?
You mean since I first started dating?
When you first started dating? I mean, some people have had boyfriend, girlfriend at 5 years old, I've heard.
Oh, mine was 4. Mine was 4.
4. You had your first girlfriend at 4. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Things are a lot different now compared to when I was a kid. We definitely didn't do that at 4 years old.
Well,
Rianna, you're dating.
I'm not currently dating. I have dated before. I don't really count my first relationship until my freshman year because everything before that was not really dating. It was just a liking for somebody, and we called it dating, but it wasn't really dating. My first relationship was in freshman year. I believe I was 14 at the time. We ended up dating for 1.5 years, but we had a lot of differences, and those differences really set us apart. Like, we weren't really compatible, but I didn't really figure that out until like after 1 year.
I love the words you guys are using. Relationship, compatibility. You're all under 17. Adults, we go dating, we don't even think about compatibility. Well, does he look good? Does he have a job? That's what we're thinking about. We're not even thinking about compatibility, but you guys are thinking about compatibility and relationship. Edward, are you dating right now?
Yes, currently I am dating a girl from my school. She's a little bit older, but I'm okay with that. I like a girl that's more mature, someone I can just hang around with and someone I just share laughs with,
Cool. So he's going for the older woman. Nathan was checking girls out in kindergarten. Rianna is on the just waiting for right now. She's just deciding to be single, figuring out who's compatible or not. And Isabel is in a serious relationship. Okay. Why? My question is, now you guys know I'm kind of old school. What is the purpose of even dating under 18? Is it like you're going to get married? what is the purpose of dating under 18?
Okay, so like personally, you're like me. I feel like it's to like prepare you for like the relationships that you have later on, because something that I realized when you start going out with people is that you don't actually start realizing what you dislike about the person who you're going out with until after you guys start dating, because then that's when you truly start seeing all the flaws and stuff. And I feel like that type of stuff is going to try to prepare you for when you are getting into marriage and stuff like that, because then you're able to actually deal with the flaws and saying, I chose this person, I truly care about this person, and besides their flaws, I truly do care about them.
I agree with that. Like, besides the whole dating thing, people don't really understand, like, you can't just date anybody. Like, if you feel like you do like a person, yeah, and that's true. Most true colors don't come out until after you start dating. But
Or get married.
I mean, and I agree with the whole preparation thing. I understand that, like, when you start dating in high school, it might not be relevant and it might not last, but there's some part of you that thinks, like, I could get married to this person.
You could get married to this person. So,
I think for me, in high school, you had to figure out what you want in a person, like what you like. Maybe you're a guy that likes like a girl's eyes or their personality or like things like that. The small things do matter in the end, and I feel like that's what high school's all about. Like, not besides just dating, but finding what you like in people.
but don't you find dating complicates things? A
Yes, ma'am.
friend, I mean, how many of you guys have a car even? One. Oh, okay.
Okay, so look, with me, right, I feel like the relationship does have to be complicated unless the both of you make it complicated. Like, let's say, back when I was like in 4th grade and stuff, when people was going out, they would be super awkward about it. Like, everybody even make a big deal if y'all was just like holding hands. They'd be like, oh, that's and then y'all be looking like, oh, and then it's only complicated if you make the relationship complicated. So it's pretty much all about the bond between the two people.
Right. Most people let other people get in between their relationship, but that's what I don't like. I don't like how, because me personally, my relationship was public, but it wasn't to a point where everybody knew everything that was going on in the relationship. I feel like that really ruins things, especially other people's input, because then you get to a point, because we are still young, and we do have childlike tendencies and childish habits, and habits are hard to break, especially if you're breaking it for a person that's the same age as you. So I really feel like letting people interfere can be a problem.
But you're saying childlike already. You're saying childlike. Our children are, I'm sorry, you guys are teen, you're young adults, and I believe you're young adults. But even being young adults, are you mature enough to have that relationship, to be more than just holding hands, swinging along, going to the movies? Isabel.
I believe so, yes. Because at this age, well, my age, 17, I'm a senior, they expect me to choose my major. They expect me to know what I want to do with my life. They expect me to choose my college, my apartment, where I'm going. And I believe the stance that you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. You could die tomorrow. You could lose everything tomorrow. So I choose to live in the day and, like, cherish what you have. So if you have a relationship and you want to be with that person and you feel like you are ready, because each person is different, each one has a different maturity level. And if they expect you to be adult, you should have the choice to be an adult. And if that's what you want, then you should be able to do that. And if it isn't, like, if it ends up bad, that was a learning experience for you anyway.
So for Isabel, you're the only one in a serious relationship for a couple years. So suppose your boyfriend at 17 said, Isabel, why don't we get married? What would you say?
I would ask him why, and I would want his plans, what he thinks we're going to do when we graduate, where he thinks we're going to go, how he thinks we're going to get married. And if he has all the right answers, if he's all prepared, I would say yes.
You would say yes. Okay. Now, Ed.
For me, I feel like, if you're old enough to date, I feel, being 16, if you're old enough to technically enlist in the Army and fight a war, I feel like you should be able to fight a war in your heart, Find out what you like about the person, get hurt, maybe not get hurt. That's just my own personal outlook on those things.
I like that. I
That was
really like
smooth.
that. I like that.
Just look with me, right? I don't really look at it as if, are you mature enough to date? I look at it as if, like, dating helps mature you. So pretty much So pretty much when you're dating, you're learning how to get along with a person who you have a strong connection bond with. And the thing is, it's more than just friends. So it's just not he's and ha-has anymore. It's something more intimate. And so you need to learn how to deal with that type of stuff. You don't just want to not do it. And then once you get an adult, you get inside of a serious relationship and you just like, what am I supposed to do? That's why you have like these earlier years to kind of prepare for them.
But are you prepared? When it comes to dating, relationship, marriages, even divorces, those are heartbreaks when you break up with someone. It's like a part of you is gone. So are teenagers even mature enough to handle that breakup? Most couples that are dating in high school, even serious ones, do not get married. 3-4 years from now when they go off to college, they don't see each other anymore. And they're not the ones that they actually marry. So what is the whole purpose of being in a relationship that's going to eventually hurt you? You're possibly going to break up with that person.
I mean, there are also levels to dating, though. There are different levels to dating. Like, there's the dating that isn't serious, and there's dating that is serious. Most people, I feel like teenagers, we choose to date because we just don't want to see that person with somebody else. We don't want, because it's more than a friendship. And if you just stay friends, then technically, you know, that gives them the right to talk to somebody else or gain feelings for somebody else. I feel like they put the title on it in order to stop other people from getting to them.
What do you guys think about that, Isabel?
I'm not so sure about the title thing because I've never done that, but that could totally be true for some. But I think the reason why we are mature enough is because that heartbreak can happen to anybody at any age, and some people who are like older can't deal with it, but there are some people who are like younger and can. And I believe, like, who's to say an age has to do with love? Like, do you not love your parents? Do you not love your siblings? That's a relationship.
Yes, they are
Does
relationships.
age reflect that? I don't believe that love has an age restriction to it. So that's why I believe relationships are able to be had at any age.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
yeah, like with the whole like heartbreak thing, it's just
Right, heartbreak.
yeah, it's like
I mean, it's
just
something emotional. You're away from that person, something breaks up, crying, tears, pain.
yeah, cause like okay, so like I'm not gonna lie, like I have had crush on people, and then like and then like they either like move or they end up getting with somebody, and you know it hurts, but you also have to learn how to deal with that pain and how to get through it. And so then when you do end up having, and then when you do end up feeling heartbreak again in your older years, you learn how to deal with it better instead of just having to deal with it for the first time. It was like what I was saying about the maturity. Like just as you're maturing in the relationship, you also mature on how to deal with the relationship and the downfalls of the relationship.
So, when it comes to dating and relationships, how long or how many people should you date to even know if you found the right one? Do you think you're actually dating the right one, Edward?
I could definitely answer that for you.
Okay.
You see, when you're a teenager and stuff, I believe that you're just supposed to have fun and enjoy high school. Now, let's say you do run into that person. You know, like for her, 2 years go by. You know, you think this is one. If it is the right one, you can always look down the future with them. You could basically plan a future with anyone you meet. You could.
What?
You could. You could be like, rather be a friend, be like, oh, we're going to hang out sometime. Or
Okay, yeah.
serious relationship,
Right.
you know. I want to go have like a college dorm next year or something like that. But every opportunity we see, we can see an outlook on that. And I believe that we should take that and just incorporate that to our everyday life.
Right.
I feel what he's saying when he says that you can make a future with anybody. I believe love is a choice.
Love is a choice.
Like when your husband's laying on the bed, snot running down his nose, puking, you choose to be there. You choose to be supportive.
There, right.
Or when he's yelling at you, calling you all these names because you left something in the dishwasher, like didn't do something he asked you to, you stay there because you love him. So I believe love is a choice. And if you love somebody and you know you do, like you feel that, and you have thought about it deeply, and like you have no negative thoughts about it. Like all you can think is the positive, and you want to go forward with that, see where it goes. I believe you should be able to.
But
So-
choosing love isn't always the best choice, I fear. Like, there are some people, and I've seen this a lot in relationships, where there's one person who's more for the relationship than the other person.
Okay. Yes, you
And
do.
the whole thing with love is like him going back to heartbreak. Heartbreak can be in any type of way. It doesn't have to just be in a relationship, but when you do experience heartbreak, like especially like with your first attachment to
Right.
somebody,
Your first attachment that you
'cause
had. Correct.
that's really my situation. Like, I chose to love them because I felt like that's the only thing I could do. I didn't want to be away from them. I didn't want to find somebody else because I thought that was the person. I was so used to being with that person that I didn't want to be with another person. But I had to figure out what was best for me. I had to love myself first before I had to try to love somebody else.
I like that. You're right. You do have to love yourself first before you can love somebody else.
Yeah.
And love is a choice, and love is for better or for worse in the sense that if they have a snot nose, your husband, you gotta be there for them. You know, if they lose their job, don't have a place, you plan. They're there for that. Now, with dating, I love the topic dating because you guys, and I said this already here in this episode, that I'm against dating, at least under the age of 18. I think it leads to heartbreak, and most people don't end up with that person. And now you're crying, you're tear breaking, and yes, you do need to know how relationships are to go to your next relationships. But could that develop after 18? Does it have to develop at 4 or 14 or 17
Right.
or 14?
Why do you
know?
put an age limit on it? Like, you can still get your heart broken at 18.
Yes, you can get your heart broken at 18.
So are you saying that you cope with it better after 18? Because if you never experienced heartbreak before 18, then how you're going to cope with it the same way? You've never had a heartbreak.
True. I do like what you're saying with that. But I would think even the maturity level, since you guys, teenagers, your minds are just starting to develop, your lives are developing. You don't know what career you're going into, high school, you're finding which clique to go to. Do you need to add on that extra stress that tears up everything else? You're thinking on school, planning for your future, your sports, because you're thinking about that one girl, that one guy, what they're doing, what they're not doing. I need to be studying, but I want to call up Isabel. Hey, Edward, you know, and instead of you actually studying, you're bringing in that extra emotional heartbreak, and it's another person that's like attached to you.
I know, it's just like, oh, you can go.
Edward.
I feel like if that person really makes you happy, then it isn't a burden. You can be going out there your whole day, you know, school's horrible, maybe you failed the test, and that one person texts you. Just makes your day amazing. I feel like that's even worth the heartbreak, just to have it again.
So mom and dad can't fill that spot under 18, just text you. Hope you guys did a great job. That can't happen after under 18. You gotta be a guy or girl, huh?
Because wait till you tell them that you failed that test.
But it's just like like with your parents, like you just expect that mutual love. But when you're getting mutual love from a external, external forces, it's just like it like hits more home because it's just like somebody who I'm not related to truly cares about me, and then that just kind of, you know, settles with you a bit, and it's just like makes you feel good, makes you feel like people actually care about you and stuff like that.
So how does that affect your confidence? So I would think, the way I'm listening, your confidence sounds like your confidence level is higher when you're dating versus if you're not dating, because you have that special someone and you're special to someone else. What do you, is that?
Yes, look, the only reason why I feel like it's like that is because at that point, you officially know that you're not standing alone. Like, you know that wherever you stand, this person is going to be standing with you, because that's the commitment both you and the other person made.
Wow. Okay.
Well, my personal experience, my first relationship, I
Okay.
was kind of shy. I was more of a freshman. Like, that was my first, like, more
First one.
serious.
Okay.
And I was very shy, and I wasn't very confident. And that relationship didn't end very well. Like, we didn't mesh well together. We were not good for each other. And when we ended it, I was more confident in myself. And then I learned that I'm great as myself. Like, I don't need someone else. And for a while I didn't. And I wasn't looking for someone, but I happened upon him. And we worked really well together, and our lives just worked well together. So I feel like if it's meant to be, it will happen. And age doesn't really affect that. Like, you can find your dream job at 50, or you can find it at 17.
Okay.
Same for love. You can find the one who's meant to be with you 17
Right.
or at
I
50.
agree.
I found mine at 48.
Yeah, I agree with that. My situation was basically similar to hers. Like, I got into a relationship freshman year. We didn't mesh well together, but she did the correct thing and she left. See, I stayed because I wanted to work stuff out and all this stuff, and I felt like I was doing the wrong because that person made me feel like I was doing everything wrong. Even when I knew that that person was wrong, they would find a way to backfire it on me so they wouldn't have to take the blame. And I wasn't getting that at first, so my confidence shot really low because I was thinking that I was the problem. I had all these people around me, people that actually did care about me, telling me that I should have gotten out of it, but I wasn't listening to the people I should have been listening to.
Do you think you weren't mature enough to know, or just that heart? Heart
was
conquers all, and
There's a part of my head that knows exactly what I should be doing. I just choose not to do it. That's why when it comes to relationships, I don't really need help as far as knowing what I need to do. I just need help to pursue what I need to do. But I kind of have to leave it up to myself because nobody's going to make me like stop talking to that person or break up with that person or distance myself from that person. And me being me, I don't know how to be that person's friend. So if I stop talking to them, I have to stop talking to them for good. And that's what I was so scared of.
now should you guys at least be friends with a person before you date, at least at this age, or
Oh,
just
yeah.
hey, that girl looks good down the street? I see you ever laughing.
Well, I can tell you from experience that relationships, when you're friends first, do usually last longer and are more enjoyable. But then again, like if you meet a person that just takes your breath away in the moment, and like you're just like, wow, like I want to meet this person. Then as you're dating them, you can get to meet them and like learn about them more. But,
Now, what about that? Could just be newness. I've never dated. Here's this beautiful girl that's looking at me.
We're talking about
you know?
infatuation.
You know, infatuation. How do you know it's infatuation and not love, Isabel?
You know, based on the conversations you have. Like, the first relation I had was infatuation. He was the first one. I thought he was cute. We had nothing in common. And when we talked, it was about him. Always him. Never asked about me, never cared to know about me. But with this one, we did start off like, we weren't friends first. We knew of each other, and we had passed by each other and said hi, because we met at a road bowling rink. And as we got to talking, like that first week of being friends, and then decided to date, like my conversations with him are so easy. Like, we talk about anything. Like, I literally got home and told him about the randomest thing I said at school today. And like, he just laughs, or he'll sit there and he'll tell me stories. And our stories just work together, and we're comfortable, and we feel like good and happy together. And that's when you know that it's love, not infatuation, when you work well together.
So at your ages, you're really in the stage that you're getting away from the parents. You're finding your own independence. You're finding out and figuring out who you are. And part of who you are is attaching to someone. So is that what you guys are feeling now that now you're on your own independent, that you really need or you're looking for that person?
Like personally with me, I don't really feel like I personally need a person, but I'm not also saying that it's not good to just have that person there, because not all the time you can talk to your parents, and not all the time you can talk to your other friends, but sometimes it's just best to have that one person around who you can talk to.
Okay. Ed?
No, like I was lucky, and I got to grow up with both of my parents there. And you know, ever since I was little, I was just like, wow, you know, I want someone that loves me like as much as my mom loves my dad, or vice versa. And so I think that we just grow up, even as teenagers, longing for someone like that that's just gonna love you as much as you love them.
Yeah. I
Great.
didn't grow
So
up
do you
in-
guys look to, like towards your parents for even dating advice, or like Edward, you like how you see your parents, the love they have, and you want that love for yourself and your future. Is that you guys look at your parents for that too?
I look at my parents more in the way of I want to find something that almost isn't there, I guess. I didn't really have my father like there, so the relationship wasn't perfect, I guess you could say.
Okay.
I would say that, I don't know, it's an effect of them not being together. Like, I see myself as being afraid to be alone because
Okay.
I'm not saying I don't want to end up like
Right.
my parents, but it would be nice to share my experiences with someone so I won't have to handle it on my own. My mom, she does everything for us. And since we were little, she's been doing everything for us. But it's
Right.
hard for her
So
to
you just
sit up
don't
there and
wanna
do it by
be
herself.
alone, and that's what you're looking for
Right.
because of your parents. Nathan, what do you think about like that with your parents' influence?
Okay, so like my parents do influence how I do come into relationships. Like my parents have taught me how like the preparations before I even get into a relationship. Like you know, you gotta love yourself. You need to also have like tolerance for all their flaws and stuff like that. You know, etc. And then like with the whole relationship, like with the whole relationship thing, it's just like I see it as more of like this. It's no longer just you and me. It's now us. So from now on, we got to work as us, and we also need to have that mutual bond. Me and you can't be looking at two different paths and still try to go down the same way. It's just like we need to have the same views. Like, and my parents kind of like taught me about that. Like, if you're in a relationship, you guys can't be going two different paths. That's like a tree that wants to be two separate trees. It's just not really going to work.
Have to go together, together as a couple. Now, just I know it's coming near the end of our show, but I want to get a word of advice for dating, and or at least how you think about it. You know, a few seconds if you don't mind. We'll start with Edward.
Well, I feel like dating for people is a necessary part of high school, but don't jump into something just because you want a relationship. Make sure that that person is who you want to be with, whether how long it lasts, maybe for a week, month, or even 2 years, like Belle. That's my outlook.
Nathan,
Me,
a few minutes.
if you're gonna get inside a relationship, you got to be committed to it. If you weren't going to be committed to a relationship in the first place, then just don't get into the relationship at all. I get it if you're just gonna get into a relationship, you know, just for the moment.
Right.
But that's only if the other person agrees to it. Otherwise, just stay committed. You know, do your part, and you know, have that mutual bond.
Okay, Rianna.
The thing I would leave off with is don't lose yourself.
Don't lose your
Make sure that you have yourself secured and then try to secure a relationship.
Isabel, you're the final one. Give us
I
a piece of
would-
advice.
I would say to always be comfortable in relationships and never be afraid to make your opinion known and your needs known, and never be afraid to leave the relationship if it needs to end. That there's always something out there that is meant for you, so don't be afraid to like go and try to get it because you're with someone that's toxic for you.
Okay, great. I love the topic. I absolutely love the topic today. You know, dating is, I feel, something that's supposed to be for a mature person. I mean, you guys are young adults, and this is one way of maturing. Being in hardships, being in relationships, the good, the bad, the ugly, basically, that makes us grow. I mean, the good, the bad, and the ugly is really what it is. You could have the perfect relationship or the bad relationship. Well, thank you very much. This is Janice with Why Not? I hope you enjoyed our topic. Our topic today was talking to the teens about dating, and we learned a lot of things about dating and how they feel about it. And I hope you come and join us later on other episodes. You can see us on YouTube, Comcast Channel 19 in Homewood, Wednesday at 6:30. Also, www.whynot.com. Thank you very much and good night.